What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back to another video. Now, news just got out that the Giants, obviously with Saquon Barkley being injured and being out for the next 4 to 8 weeks, we have to find a running back. And whether that means getting Jonathan Hilliman from the practice squad or picking up a free agent, we have to do something. Wayne Gallman is the only running back on this roster besides Elijah Penny, who is our fullback. So we've got to do something. I don't think anybody saw Saquon Barkley being hurt in this game and him being out for this long. So that's why the Giants only had 2 running backs on the roster after they released Paul Perkins and he went to Detroit. So the Giants just worked out Benny Cunningham, the former Chicago Bear, the former Los Angeles or / St. Louis Ram. And you know what? That's not a bad option. I don't mind working out Benny Cunningham if he is signed and being used as a running back by committee type deal. He's a more elusive back like a Wayne Gallman is and also can get the job done in between the tackles. And on top of that, he has a history of being a receiving back as well. So anybody that can be versatile, kind of fill in the space for Saquon Barkley along with Wayne Gallman is a good pickup to me. Now, with this news coming out here that the Giants are working out Benny Cunningham, I wanted to make a couple candidates for the Giants to pick up, and maybe you guys would be interested as well. Now, not all of these guys I'm really on board with signing, but these are just a couple of names to throw out there for you guys, kind of get your minds going on who do you guys think the Giants should sign. Now, the first name I want to throw out there that everybody's talking about, the 2 names that everybody's talking about right now is CJ Anderson and Jay Ajayi, and I would love to sign both of these guys. One of these guys, obviously, but both candidates are really strong candidates. Jay Ajayi will start off first. I was a huge Jay Ajayi fan, being that he went to Boise State, my favorite college team, so I watched him in college. The original 27 Squad member there. He wore 27 there in Boise State. And I like Jay Ajayi. I liked him in Miami. He only had a 1,000-yard season, but we're not looking for a 1,000-yard runner right now. We're looking for anybody to fill in the space for Saquon along with Wayne Gallman to get the running game going and not be one-dimensional on offense. So we're not looking for a star-studded, 2,000-yard potential runner. No, we're not looking for that whatsoever. We're looking for somebody to get the job done. I think Jay Ajayi has the ability to. He's a former 1,000-yard runner. He could have ran for more yardage that way if he hadn't got hurt, and that's where I get into here. I don't think Jay Ajayi will be a New York Giant just because we're dealing with a hurt running back here. We're trying to replace Saquon Barkley, who's hurt, and bringing Jay Ajayi in won't fix any problems if Jay Ajayi gets hurt as well. Jay Ajayi is really prone to injury. I think he may have gotten hurt almost every single season he's played, whether that be with the Philadelphia Eagles or the Miami Dolphins. At least a couple of times he's gotten hurt in every season. So I don't know if Jay Ajayi will make this team. I don't know if the Giants will even sign him or work him out. So, he's 26 years old. He still has a lot left in the tank. But to me, the injuries are going to be a big problem trying to fill in for Saquon Barkley. So, we then move on to C.J. Anderson. Now, C.J. Anderson has been pretty consistent throughout the years. He's been cut by the Detroit Lions. He played for the Oakland Raiders, I believe. You guys know he's most popular for his time with the Denver Broncos, and I forgot which other team had him as well. Oh, how could I forget? He was a Los Angeles Ram as well, and he had a really strong outing in the playoffs where he kind of outshined Todd Gurley, who was beat up at that point, and people were wondering, can the Rams get a running game going? And CJ Anderson comes in the playoffs and does extremely well and runs the ball very effectively and towards the end of the season as well. So C.J. Anderson's a really strong candidate. He was dropped by the Detroit Lions in exchange for Paul Perkins, who we dropped from our team, but I think C.J. Anderson is a nice addition to this team should he be signed with the Giants. He worked out with the Houston Texans just today or yesterday, I believe, and we'll see if the Texans pick him up along with, to add him with Duke Johnson there, but hopefully he can come on to the Giants. We can work him out and sign him then. C.J. Anderson is averaging about a 4.5 yards per carry in his career. So that's pretty consistent to me, if I say so myself. His strongest year as far as yards per carry was his rookie year, but he only had 38 yards rushing, was 5.4 yards per carry. But he remained a consistent, like a 4.7, 4.0, 4.1. He averaged 4.7 twice in yards per carry, so that's what I want to see. He's a very good, decent back. He had a 1,000-yard season in 2017 with the Denver Broncos, but he hasn't reached that mark since then, but has gotten close in 2014, rushing for 849 yards. Now, I wish we could have got Alex Collins, but unfortunately, you guys know that he broke his leg after he was waived. I know he had a whole arrest problem there in Baltimore, and that's why he was waived. But then he broke his leg, I guess, training in July. He broke his leg, so he's off the board as far as being a candidate. But that would have been the first person I would have called for the job, because Alex Collins is really underrated in this league. I really like him as a player out of Arkansas, and I thought he could have been great, but he unfortunately isn't a prospect, so we have to throw him off the list. Next up, my second to last candidate is Zach Zenner. Now, a lot of you guys don't know too much about Zach Zenner. He's one of the very few white running backs in the NFL, currently a free agent, but really had his time. Well, he was only with one team, and now he was with the Detroit Lions. He's a very, very difficult back to really explain. He's not the fast type. He's not really much of a bulldozer either. He's just there. He's pretty good as well, and that's not to disrespect him whatsoever. I just don't know really what to call him, whether he's a speed. He's not really a speed back at all, whether he's a bruising back, a one cut, whatever it is. But he's really good at what he does. I think he averages about 3.9 yards per carry in his career. He's always been our backup. He's always been behind Theo Riddick, behind, I think he was there when Kerryon Johnson was there when he got drafted. LeGarrette Blount was there as well, and I think he was there all the way Joique Bell days, the Joique Bell days, and the Reggie Bush days. I believe he was there as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was always there, and he was always taking carries. I think he has 500 rushing yards in his career, something like that, about 300 in the air as well. So I mean, he's a decent running back we could try to pick up. Don't know if he would be a really strong candidate, but he might be our last option there. Should we get to that? Now he has 685 yards in his career, 3.9 yard average. And my last candidate I wanted to get to, I know you guys probably all saw this coming, Orleans Darkwa. He's been out of football for about almost a year and a half now. I really like Orleans Darkwa, man. He was rehabbing. He was the top running back free agent in 2018 before he got hurt. Everybody was talking about him as being a top free agent in that running back class. And, I mean, I'm sure everybody wanted him. I know he worked out with the Jets and even the Bills, I think, but he was hurt, so I guess he didn't pass a physical. But now he's completely healthy. A couple of months ago, I believe it was Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport, one of those guys, did tweet out that he was completely healthy, looking for teams. Nobody's calling his name for whatever reason. I really wish we could pick up Orleans Darkwa. He was really successful. A lot of you guys didn't like him, but he was the best running back we had out of Rashad Jennings and Andre Williams and all these other guys out there. Orleans Darkwa really knew how to find the hole. He was really patient in between the tackles, really waited for a hole to develop, and really didn't go down at the first contact. He always required 2 guys or 3 guys to bring him down. He never went down with just one guy. I believe he averaged about 4.2 yards per carry in his career with the New York Giants, former undrafted free agent out of Tulane. Went to Miami, then he came with us and was great ever since, with a terrible offensive line in 2017. By the way, in 2017, we went 3-13 that year, and Orleans Darkwa had 751 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns. So you gotta like what Orleans Darkwa did. 4.5 yards a carry as well. So with that terrible offensive line we had in 2017, he did great. Imagine him behind this offensive line and producing the same way he would produce back then. How good he was back then. So Orleans Darkwa is probably my number 1 candidate right now. I would give him a call. I know he wasn't there during the Pat Shurmur days. He wasn't there during the Dave Gettleman days. So he's not familiar with this front office and the staff. But the Giants are very familiar with him. The players are very familiar with him. And I think it will work out with Orleans Darkwa there. So Orleans Darkwa, I'd give him a call first, then C.J. Anderson. That's just my opinion, honestly. Orleans Darkwa, then C.J. Anderson, then maybe Jay Ajayi. But that's about it, guys. So also, there's Doug Martin out there, but I don't know if Doug Martin's really gonna carry the mantle there. But Doug Martin, that's another name to throw out there for you guys, Doug Martin. So that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video.